In 2007, Michael Carroll became one of the luckiest men in the UK. At just 19 years old, he won over $14 million in the lottery. Within months, he quit his job, bought mansions, sports cars, and threw parties that looked like something out of a movie. Friends, family, and even complete strangers lined up for investments, gifts, and loans that would never be repaid. 6 years later, Michael was bankrupt and back working in a biscuit factory just to get by. The question is, how can someone go from lifetime wealth to nothing so quickly? The answer is the same reason millions of people lose their financial footing every year: a lack of financial literacy. It doesn't matter if you earn millions or just a few thousand. If you don't know how to manage, protect, and grow your money, you're always one step away from losing it. In this video, we're diving into what I call real financial literacy. Not the boring theory you'll never use, but the practical principles that can completely transform your relationship with money. We'll cover how to manage your income, control expenses, build assets, minimize debt, and use compound interest to your advantage. So stick around until the end, because we're not just talking numbers. We're talking real stories and strategies you can start using today. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Let's dive into the first money secret schools never taught you. Success begins with learning how to build streams of value that continue to reward you over time. And the key? Transforming your existing knowledge into assets that work for you, not the other way around. Meet Alex. By day, he's a high school teacher who loves his job, but he's always wondered why his paycheck seems to vanish faster than it arrives. One day, Alex realizes something powerful: the skill he uses every day, explaining complex ideas in a way people actually understand, could be worth more than his salary if he knew how to package it. So he starts small. On weekends, Alex tutors students online. Instead of charging by the hour like everyone else, he creates a recorded course that students can buy anytime. That one course? It keeps selling while he's asleep, while he's at the grocery store, even while he's on vacation. Alex has just turned his teaching ability into an asset, something that earns for him long after the initial work is done. Here's the key: skills become financial assets when they stop depending on your daily presence to make money. It's the difference between being paid for your time and being paid for your value. Time has limits. Value, when turned into an asset, doesn't. Think of it like planting a fruit tree. Working for a paycheck is like picking fruit from someone else's tree. You eat today, but you'll have to come back tomorrow. Building assets from your skills is like planting your own tree. It feeds you for years. As billionaire entrepreneur Mark Andreessen says, in a startup, absolutely nothing happens unless you make it happen. The same is true for your personal finances. Nothing will grow unless you intentionally plant it. Alex didn't just make more money, he rewired his entire financial future. And you can do the same by asking, what skill do I have that I could turn into something that works for me, even when I'm not working? All right, moving forward, let's talk about how even the best income streams can vanish if you're not careful about what goes out. That's why the next step in real financial literacy is mastering your spending before it masters you. Let's talk about Mia. She's a junior marketing executive who just got her first big promotion. The raise felt like freedom, so she celebrated with a new wardrobe, dinners at trendy restaurants, and a car upgrade because she deserved it. 6 months later, she's wondering why her bank account looks emptier than it did before she got the raise. Here's the truth. Most people don't have an income problem. They have a spending problem. It's called lifestyle creep. The moment your income rises, your spending quietly creeps up to match it. Before you know it, the raise that could have funded your future is funding more takeout and subscription services you forgot you even signed up for. Think of money like a leaky bucket. If you keep pouring in more water, income, but never fix the holes, uncontrolled expenses, you'll always end up dry. Financial literacy means plugging those holes before adding more water. Mia decided to reverse the creep. She adopted what I call the lock first rule. Every time she gets paid, she locks away a fixed percentage into savings before she touches a single dollar for spending. That way, the new money goes toward her future, not just her next impulse buy. As personal finance author Ramit Sethi says, spend extravagantly on the things you love and cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. Mia still enjoys nice dinners, but she plans them, budgets them, and makes sure they fit inside her spending boundaries. The point: controlling expenses isn't about depriving yourself, it's about deciding what actually matters and refusing to let mindless spending steal it from you. Once your spending is under control, you can start focusing on what really builds long-term security. Your assets, and some of the most powerful ones, you might not even realize you already have them. Most people hear the word assets and picture real estate, stocks, or maybe a shiny sports car they think is an asset. Spoiler, it's not if it's losing value every day. But here's the thing. Some of your most valuable assets aren't sitting in a bank account or parked in your driveway. They're the things you own, control, or have built that can produce value over time, even if they don't look like traditional investments. Take Daniel, for example. He's a freelance photographer. At first, his only assets were his camera gear and a modest savings account. But then he realized his real assets included his client relationships, the portfolio of photos he could license over and over, and even the editing presets he'd created that other photographers wanted to buy. None of these showed up on a balance sheet, but they brought in consistent cash. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket, reduces future expenses, or builds long-term opportunity. That could be intellectual property, a loyal audience, specialized knowledge, or even a system you've built that saves you hours, and therefore money. Think of assets like seeds in a garden. Some sprout quickly, like selling a digital product. Others take years, like building a reputation in your industry. The key is planting often and tending regularly. Investor Naval Ravikant puts it simply: play long-term games with long-term people. Assets are your way of playing the long game. They keep working for you while the rest of the world is chasing quick wins. Daniel didn't get rich overnight, but over time, his invisible assets started producing visible results. Steady income, repeat clients, and opportunities that no paycheck could match. Of course, building assets is only half the game. You also need to protect yourself from the silent wealth killers that disguise themselves as opportunities, the liabilities that pretend to be assets. That's one of the critical money secrets you don't know. Meet Olivia. She proudly tells everyone she's investing in her future because she just bought a brand new luxury car. She calls it an asset. But here's the reality. The moment she drove it off the lot, it lost thousands in value. Every month, it demands more: insurance, maintenance, interest on the loan. That asset is quietly draining her instead of growing her wealth. This is the tricky part of financial literacy. Some liabilities disguise themselves as assets. They look impressive. They feel like progress, but they're actually holding you back. It's like hiring an employee who looks great on paper but secretly takes money out of the register. Not all liabilities are bad. A well-structured mortgage on a home that appreciates can be a wealth-building tool. A small business loan that funds a profitable operation can be a growth engine. But bad liabilities, especially high-interest consumer debt, are financial quicksand. The longer you stay in, the harder it is to get out. Think of it like wearing a backpack. Good liabilities are like carrying tools. They slow you down a bit, but they help you build something valuable. Bad liabilities are like filling that backpack with bricks. They just make the climb harder with no payoff at the top. Author Robert Kiyosaki says, "The rich buy assets. The poor and middle class acquire liabilities they think are assets." Olivia learned this the hard way when her car payments started eating the money she could have invested. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far and want more content like this, comment the word "more" so I'll notice. All right, now, let's jump to our next important term in this journey of financial literacy, which is to understand the value of time. If you ask most people what their most valuable asset is, they'll say, "My house" or "my savings." But the truth? It's your time. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose possessions and replace them. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. And in the world of financial literacy, time isn't just life. It's leverage. Let's look at Ethan. At 23, he decided to invest $200 a month into a simple index fund. His friend Mark decided to wait until he was earning more. Mark didn't start until he was 33, only 10 years later. But by retirement age, Ethan had nearly double Mark's wealth, even though they both invested the same amount each month. Why? Time. The earlier you start, the more years your money has to grow, and the magic of compounding multiplies the results. Think of time like a multiplier in a video game. The sooner you grab it, the longer it works for you, doubling, tripling, even multiplying your score without extra effort. And speaking of purpose-driven wealth, that's what I'm testing right now. I'm building a Google Sheets command center, something simple but powerful. It's designed to help you track your net worth, investments, income, cash flow, spending habits, and even your compounding progress, all in one place. It's not just a tracker, it's a strategy hub. The kind of thing I wish someone had handed me 10 years ago. If enough people want it, I'll launch it soon. And there'll be an exclusive launch discount for early supporters. You can join the early access waitlist at the link below. The tool will cost less than one bad financial decision. And that's the point. Financial expert Morgan Housel says, "Your financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill, where how long you stay in the game matters more than how well you play each turn." That's why the biggest mistake people make isn't choosing the wrong stock or buying the wrong property. It's waiting too long to start. Ethan didn't beat Mark because he invested more. He won because he invested longer. And that's the part of financial literacy schools almost never teach. Time is the most valuable currency you'll ever spend. But even with time on your side, you can lose the game if your everyday money habits run on autopilot. Let's talk about the invisible money choices that shape your future without you even noticing. Meet Sarah. Every morning, she buys a $6 latte on her way to work. She's been doing it for years without thinking twice. It's part of her routine, like checking her phone or scrolling social media. But one day, while reviewing her bank statements, she does the math. That latte habit costs her over $2,000 a year. Not life-changing on its own, but if invested annually at an average 7% return, that's more than $30,000 over a decade. Here's the hidden truth. The small, automatic decisions you make with money often have the biggest long-term impact. You don't notice them because they're on autopilot, but they quietly shape your financial future. It's like driving on cruise control toward a cliff. You're moving smoothly, but in the wrong direction. The goal of financial literacy isn't to kill every pleasure in your life. It's to make those autopilot choices align with your goals instead of working against them. Legendary investor Peter Lynch once said, "Know what you own and know why you own it." That applies to every financial decision, from the house you buy to the coffee you sip. Sarah didn't give up coffee entirely, she just shifted her habit. Now she makes it at home most days and invests the difference. It's not about cutting everything, it's about cutting what doesn't serve you. And here's where it gets deeper, because behind every habit is a belief. Your money mindset can either fuel everything you've built or quietly sabotage it. When Jason was growing up, He heard the same phrase over and over: "We're just not the kind of people who get rich." His parents worked hard, but every financial choice was made from a place of scarcity, buying the cheapest option, avoiding any kind of investment, and assuming rich was something other people were allowed to be. By the time Jason was in his 20s, he realized he had inherited more than his parents' habits. He had inherited their money mindset. Here's the thing: the way you think about money determines what you do with it. You can know every budgeting formula, every investment trick, and every tax strategy. But if you secretly believe wealth isn't for you, you'll never take the actions that lead to it. Think of your money mindset like the operating system on your phone. Even the best apps, your financial skills, won't work properly if the operating system is outdated. Studies show that people who see themselves as wealth builders make different decisions, even when they have the same income as those who don't. They invest earlier, they take calculated risks, they learn new skills instead of assuming their earning power is fixed. As Henry Ford famously said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Jason's breakthrough came when he stopped telling himself he wasn't the kind of person who could build wealth. Once he believed it was possible, the actions followed, and so did the results. Once your mindset is upgraded, it's time for the final step in your financial literacy journey. Turn your insights into a simple, repeatable system, your personal financial playbook. This is the strategy you'll rely on to consistently win the money game, year after year. Think of your financial life like a championship game. You wouldn't walk onto the field without a playbook. Yet that's exactly how most people handle their money. They react to problems as they come, hoping for a win instead of running a plan designed for victory. A personal financial playbook is simple but powerful. First, decide your core rules, the principles you'll follow no matter what. That could be save before I spend, never carry high-interest debt, or invest every month without fail. These rules become your defense. Then, design your offense, the actions you'll take to grow your wealth. That could mean turning skills into income streams like Alex, controlling lifestyle creep like Mia, or planting long-term assets like Daniel. Add in a strategy for managing time as a currency, breaking bad autopilot habits, and upgrading your money mindset. And suddenly you're not just surviving the game, you're controlling it. The key is consistency. Small, smart moves made every month will beat big, risky plays made once in a while. Or as billionaire Charlie Munger puts it, the big money is not in the buying and selling, but in the waiting. Because in the end, financial literacy isn't about knowing every detail. It's about having a framework you can trust and using it consistently until the results speak for themselves. And there you have it. The life-changing money secrets and skills schools never taught you. Financial literacy isn't just a dry textbook concept. It's a powerful toolkit for building the life you want, starting today. Because the truth is, you don't need a lottery win, a six-figure salary, or a perfect economy to build wealth. You just need to understand the rules, avoid the traps, and make your money work as hard as you do. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research and speak with a qualified financial professional before making investment decisions. If you found this breakdown helpful, I highly recommend watching my next video. It connects directly to what we've covered today and will help you take the next step toward financial freedom. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the tools, strategies, and stories that can change the way you think about money. Share this with someone who needs to hear it and drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.